Morning, guys. Please bear with me. I sound a bit grotty and having a mass issue here, but I've been asked to do a tattoos video, so I am going to explain kind of what ones I got when, what ones I kind of never have again, and what ones I regret, that kind of thing. So I'm going to start off with my first ever one, which I had when I think I was like 18. I think I was about 18. And I went into a local studio where I used to live called Rob's, and I picked a Disney Tigger from Winnie the Pooh. So I will insert a clip now. So yeah, I had the Disney Tigger done. It was my first ever tattoo. It's on my right shoulder blade. It cost me, I think it was £15. Didn't hurt very much. It just swelled up, it never bled, it never did anything. The guy was like, for your first tattoo you've done really well, because I'm terrified of needles. So I was really proud of myself, and I got that one because my granddad, which is my mum's dad, used to say I'm always like Tigger. I have a lot of bounce. When I was little I was like very hypo and stuff, and I was always jumping around, so I kind of got the nickname Tigger. So that was my first one. And then I found a local guy that was like 2 streets away from where I used to live, and he was a telecom engineer by day, and then he was a tattoo artist by night. He changed his front room into a tattoo studio. He was fully above board and everything. He used to work in different tattoo shops, but he decided he wanted to do something different. So he used to do it on his spare time. So I went round to him, and I had the granddad bit put underneath my Tigger tattoo. So I'll pop the picture back in of that now. So yeah, I had the granddad bit put in, and at the same time I had, I think it was the mum bit. Yeah, the mum and the flowers done on my wrist, so I'll put a photo in of that now. So yeah, I had the granddad one done, like the wording of granddad, and the mum with the flowers done at the same time. The meaning of the flowers was, well, obviously the meaning of the granddad was because it was my granddad that called me Tigger, so I wanted that underneath there. The meaning of the mum with the flowers was, it's, if you look, it's like a bigger flower and a smaller flower, which represent me and my mum, and the vines are growing off of it. I think they're called vines, to show that like the family is growing and the family will keep growing. So that was the reason behind that. And I wanted mum put on me, just because I wanted my mum put on there, and you know, it was a tattoo that symbolised me and my mum and like our family's growing and stuff. So I got that done. Then the next, I went back to the same guy again. I was probably like, when I had the granddad and the mum with the flowers done, I was probably, I don't know, maybe 21, something like that. The wrist one, everyone was like, oh my god, your wrist is gonna cane, you know, don't ever get one on your wrist. My wrist, I had no problem with. I would a million times have my wrist done rather than my hip. My hip hurt like hell, and there's a reason why I ended up going back twice for that. But yeah, had that done first. Then I went back to the same guy again. I think I was still like 21, maybe 22. Sorry about my voice, guys. And then I had the dad put underneath the mum one. So I'll insert a picture of that again now. So yeah, I had the dad one added, and then I don't know why, I had this thing for months and months. I wanted the script in, I love my boyfriend. I don't know why. It's something that I kind of want to get covered up. Yeah, I think I want to get covered up, but my hip hurt like hell. So I personally don't see it that much now, because I've still got like the mummy apron from when you have a C-section. It's kind of hidden, but I do want to get it covered up at some point. I've missed one out as well. Yeah, but anyway, I'll go back to that one in a minute. So yeah. Yeah, I had the scripting of I Love My Boyfriend done by the same guy. Hurt like bloody hell. Like I say, pain was immense. For me, I would willingly have my shoulder and that lot done a million times before that. So I'll insert a picture of that now. So yeah, when I also had that one done, you can't really see it now, but I done the stupid thing of having my boyfriend's initials out on me at the time. So that was on the other hip. It was just his 3 initials, and I regret it to this day. I wish I'd never ever done it. It was kind of a last minute thought. It was like, while I'm here, can I have this done, kind of thing. So you can't really see it now. It is hidden behind the flower, but I'll put a photo of the flower in now. So when I went back to get the paw print done, I had the cover up done for my partner's initials. At that point, me and him had split up. It was not a good breakup. We'd been together, I think it was just over 2 years, and for a year and a half of that he had been cheating on me with somebody. And all the way through the relationship I kept saying to him, you know, if ever your feelings change, just be honest with me. It would hurt, but I would respect you for being honest with me rather than lying to me. And he'd kept lying to me, and when he started changing, like his attitude changed and stuff, I would say to him, you know, have your feelings changed towards me and stuff. And he'd always say, no, it's fine, I've just got other stuff going on in my life. And I was basically treated like shit. So it was a bad breakup, and I basically went around to this guy and was like, I need this covered up as soon as possible. I don't care what you cover up with, I just want these initials covered up. I shouldn't have had them in the first place. And he was really good, and he was like, what do you want it covered up with? I was like, I really don't care, just do something. So he free-handed the flower that he covered it up with, and he's done it really well. You can't hardly see the initials in it. So what I'll do is the last picture I put up of it, I'll like draw over where the initials were. But I'll now show you the flower again, so I'll put a photo of the flower in now. So guys, yeah, I had those 3 done at the same time, but I forgot. My second one was actually not my mum and my granddad and that lot. It was my one on my arm. So the one on my arm was done at a friend's house. She'd kind of had a tattoo party booked, and I was having my one on my shoulder, on my arm done here, and her little sister was 17 at the time, and her mum had allowed her to have, everyone called her Betty Boo, so she had this big Betty Boo done on her back, and her mum was there and allowed it. And when we were there having the tattoo party at my friend's house, it all seemed to go well. I hadn't been drinking or nothing, but as soon as the guy started tattooing my arm, he was like, oh, have you been drinking? You're bleeding really badly. And I was like, no, I've not been drinking. And I didn't understand why it was bleeding, because my other one hadn't bled. But yeah, when it was first done, it looked amazing. He'd cocked up a little bit, but yeah, it looked amazing. But then, obviously, some tattoos scab, even if you keep it moisturised, they scab. Mine scabbed in one big scab, which is not different, you know, because it's such a small tattoo. Well, it's a small tattoo, it's about this big. It scabbed in one thing, which was fine. But when the scab came off, all the colour come off, so I'm just left with the outline. And how I've been left, I'm very not disgruntled, but I hate it. I definitely want to get it covered up. I don't know what I want to get it covered up with, but I absolutely hate it. I regret it so much. There was not really any meaning to it. It was, I liked the picture, and I liked the idea of having a little tiger cub on me. And like I say, when it was first done, it looked amazing, but now it doesn't. So now, if I insert that picture in a minute, you'll see that there's no colour in it whatsoever. It's completely black. The guy actually, after he'd done all our tattoos, he said he'd had a motorbike accident the day before, so he had a dislocated shoulder. He actually slipped while doing my tattoo, and if you actually look on the bottom paw, there's actually one like claw longer than the rest, so it looks like the kind of, you know, the tiger cub's kind of doing this, which is horrendous. The white has gone out the eyes, so it looks like it's completely soulless. There's like, it just looks like a demon. It's horrible. He's done like a big circle in the middle of the head, which was meant to be like the stripes and stuff, but it looks like he's been shot in the head because he's got rabies, because there's like foam and stuff around the mouth, and I absolutely hate it. I want to get it covered so badly. So I'll insert a picture of it now, and if I can Google the image of what it actually was meant to look like, I'll insert that picture as well now. Yeah, so yeah, I had the tiger first, then I had the one on my arm, then I had the granddad and the mum with the flowers, then I had the dad, the I love my boyfriend and the initials. So then I went back to the same guy that had done the last lot, and I had my guinea pig's paw print. The thing behind the guinea pig's paw print, a lot of people have like dog and cat paw prints. I wanted a guinea pig. We had, when my mum and dad were still together, we had set up a guinea pig rescue centre in our back garden. So we had 2 sheds, one with the females in, one with the males in. We had 2 massive runs in our back garden, and when we would see on local sale sites and stuff saying, you know, free to a good home, we asked the RSPCA and people, you know, what happens if you can't find them a good home, and they were like, we'll put them down. So we took them in. We would go around to car boots and charity shops and stuff like that and pick up cages that when we rehomed them, they were rehomed with bedding and food and cages and bottles and everything like that. And when they all eventually kind of got rehomed and passed on and stuff like that, I vowed that I was never going to have a guinea pig again. And then I worked in a pet shop, and this bunch of guinea pigs come in, and this little one, nobody wanted this one, and he was so cute. So I took him home. Wasn't going to have another one. Took him home, called him Chunky. And he was a big guinea pig. He grew up to be a big guinea pig. And I also took on a second one that, again, was left at the shop. Nobody wanted him. So I took him home for a trial to see if he'd get on with Chunky. He got on perfectly with Chunky, and he had long fur, and it was like he'd been crimped. And he had this quiff, so we nicknamed him Elvis. Unfortunately, Elvis died of a liver problem when I was up visiting my mum one time before I moved up here. And Chunky just kept going on and on and on. And I vowed that once Chunky was gone, that was it, no more. I got rid of my cage, got rid of everything. But Chunky meant quite a lot to me. When I was going through a bit of bad time, he was there for me. He'd always give me cuddles. He was gorgeous with my cat. So I decided to have his paw print done. So it's actually his front paw print. He stood in some mud, and I got him to stand on a piece of paper, and it is actually his paw print. It's same sizes for everything. So it was quite a big guinea pig, and there's little white bits in the toes. That was actually how his paw print was. It was copied exactly by this guy. It was absolutely amazing. So he did that for me, so I'll insert a picture of that now. So yeah, the guy free-handed that flower to cover that up, so I was so happy. So yeah, I got the cover up and that one done at the same time, the paw print done at the same time. And then I moved from Somerset, and I moved to Derby, and I vowed that on my left wrist I would put my kids' names, because I always planned to have 2. And then Libby was born and never really got round to it. And then we lost my stepdad as well. And I can't even remember what it was. I'd made some money from selling stuff or something, and I was like, right, I'm determined. I walked past the tattoo thing, and I was like, this is what I want. And I walked in, and I was just like, how much? And the guy was like, I can do it straight away. This is how much. So I was like, okay, cool, right. So Matt took Libby back to Mum's, and I went straight in and did it. And I had my one on my wrist with Liberty. So I've got the infinity sign with Liberty's name in it. So yeah, I had that one done. And I also wanted something to represent my stepdad. And everyone knew him as Bear. You know, he was Grandad Bear to Libby and stuff. Sorry about my voice, guys. So I wanted a bear. The guy free-handed this bear face, and I've got it so that the infinity sign in the bear kind of makes a heart, so it's like Grandad Bear is looking over her all the time. And that cost £50 for that one. The guy back in Somerset that did it from his house was really quite nice. he'd basically charge you for ink and a little bit more. So when I've had other ones done, it was like 30 quid for like 2 or 3, which was quite good. So this was 50 quid for the tube. It's like right down my wrist. You can see it's not faded. It's been just under a year, I think. I think I had it in like January kind of time last year. I think. I didn't have it this year, I don't think. I can't remember. It was around that time anyway. But yeah, that's the last one I had. I have got plans for some more. I want 2 snowflakes. There's 2 little snowflakes. I want one slightly bigger than the other one, and I want them kind of the same but slightly different. I want them to represent me and Liberty. So I want them on this arm, probably down near the bottom. I want them to represent me and Liberty, to show that we are the same but we are different, and it's okay to be unique because every snowflake is unique. So it's not a bad thing to be different, it's not a bad thing to be unique, and that it doesn't matter how unique you are, you're always special, you're always gorgeous, you're always pretty. You know, nothing can ever take that away from you. You are gorgeous and pretty and amazing exactly how you are, and being unique is not a bad thing. So I want 2 little snowflakes done. I also want like not a cartoon cat, but kind of like the edging of a cat, like its face and stuff. There's like a kind of profile, I suppose, but just like the edge, to represent Nanu. I've had many cats in my life before, but Nanu has really kind of come in and changed his family. People that have been on this page for quite a while know that Libby was having fits, and we have no idea what's caused the fits. She was going through hospital treatment. She had every test going. The only test she didn't have was MRI. You know, pardon me, we'd spoken to doctors, we'd spoken to health visitors, we'd spoken to paediatricians. It got to the point where the doctors were like, when she has a fit, call 999 because we want to have people see it. We'd filmed it and stuff, and the health visitor had seen it, but we ended up calling 999 and getting an ambulance here so the ambulance crew could actually see it happening, and it was just horrendous. Nobody knew what caused it, nobody knew what stopped it. You couldn't help her. She was screaming, she was kicking, she was punching, she was biting, she was hurting herself, she was hurting me. Obviously, you know, I'd sit her on the floor or on the chair, and I'd try and help her as much as I could. Like, if she was going to bash her head on the floor, I'd put my arms underneath it, that kind of thing. I'd try and stop her hurting herself, and it was videoed, and like I say, it went to the doctors, and we were going through every test going. The only test she didn't have was an MRI. We were literally waiting for that, and Nanu come into our life. He adopted us, and he just suddenly stopped these fits, and nobody, like the doctors are really confused to how the cat has helped. But basically, when he came into our lives, if Libby was having a fit, he'd go up to her and he'd paddy paw her, or he'd rub his tail along her foot, that kind of thing, and she would automatically snap out of this fit. And we had tried everything. The doctors had tried everything. We tried everything, and nothing was helping. So it was amazing what he's done for Libby. So I just want to get this like cat face outline. Sorry about that, guys. Matt just walked up to ask me something. So yeah, I want to get the outline of a cat done, and I want to get a little fluffy feather. We believe very much in signs, and I suppose you'd call it ghosts and stuff like that. And butterflies and bears and feathers mean a lot to us. And they always say when a feather appears, a loved one is near. So I want to get a fluffy feather as kind of a remembrance for my stepdad. So that'd be another like little one. So yeah, that's the ones I currently got planned. At the moment they're on hold for quite a while because obviously the money could come in useful for something else. So yeah, that's what I got planned, guys. That's my tattoos at the moment. Piercings. I have got my ears done. I hardly ever wear earrings, but they never seem to grow over. I had them done when I was quite little. Mum was saying the other day that I really wanted them done, and the agreement was if I was dry through the day and the nights when I was potty training, I had to go dry through the day and the night for a whole week, and then I was allowed to have my ears done. So it was quite a while ago. But like I say, I do wear studs every now and again. I do wear danglies every now and again, but they never seem to grow over. So I had them done a long time ago. And I did have my belly button pierced. I had that done when I was 18, but I took it out when I was pregnant. It kind of hasn't grown over, but I don't want to put it back in. But it hasn't grown over, if that makes sense. It has grown over slightly. But yeah, that was my tattoos and piercings video. Like I say, if I get any more, I will do an update video, but that's what I've got at the moment, guys. Sorry it's not very good pictures, but I will do my best. And I will see you soon, guys.